It's been 3 years since the release of my first video, and the prospects of making a continuation, or some sort of actual deep dive into Windows Never Release has been tempting me ever since. Despite me never intending to release the video, I still made it as if it was created for that purpose, and I understood that when you make a serious-ish video, the video better be informative. In my opinion, I succeeded in presenting the most essential aspects of this community to the uninitiated. When I released the video, I did not anticipate members of this community to actually pay attention to me, though, in retrospect, the outcome was obvious and inevitable given the tight-knit nature of this group and the fact that, to my knowledge, there is no other commentary or exposé about this fandom. When I read the comments, I found a common sentiment which I foresaw transpiring and which did, in fact, being that I did not go in depth enough and that there were more things I could have talked about, to which I say, yes, I completely agree, and this is partially the reason why I have been humoring the idea of making some sort of second part or addendum to the video. While I initially thought that being more thorough in my investigation would have been beneficial, and which was originally partially a catalyst for me musing about an addendum, I realized that it wouldn't do me much favor. I'm going to expand on this later, but for now I will address that sentiment at face value. There is one simple problem with me not including more information. I am an outsider. I was never into Windows Never Release and I only found out about it by complete happenstance due to the YouTube recommendation system. In other words, I did not know where I could go to find more information on this obscure, though not necessarily small, community that practically nobody outside of it are aware of. That curiosity is what led me to make a video in the first place, because nobody else did, and I wanted to practice my video editing skills and show them off to people around me. If there was a commentary video on Windows Never Released that delved into that topic for the uninformed, I would have watched that and made a video about some other topic that interested me. Given the fact that I did not know where to go, I simply ran with whatever surface level information I could get, though, again, as I will later elaborate, a part 2 would have still existed even if the first video would have been more thorough. Now, of course, even if I'm an outsider, that doesn't mean I can't go out of my way to find good information about a given community. While in the process of making this video, I learned about the OS Mockups wiki, which contains paragraphs upon paragraphs of lore about Windows Never Released, notable creators within it, drama, splinters, and anything else you can imagine. Even if I found the wiki 3 years ago, it would have made the video more thorough, sure, but the video would still not have been able to do justice to this community and its culture given that, again, I'm not a part of it and I have no context within it. Imagine making a video on, I don't know, groomers in Roblox or something. If you have not engaged with the game or its community, you'd just be parroting what other people have said and written on the topic with no original input. What do you want? Hey, isn't your Windows Never Released video basically that? Let's be honest, most people who don't know about Windows Never Released would never seek out information about it. Huh, what's this video? My YouTube recommendations are tripping again. Skip. I was therefore informing them that there's more to it than initially meets the eye, even if the information I provided was quote-unquote basic. And I mean, people on the internet already know about the matter of groomers in Roblox, so it's unlikely they will want to watch video number 3 more billion regurgitating this topic again. Windows Never Released is not widely known. That's where the novelty value comes from. Anyway, this leads me to my next point, which is that I can understand why other people enjoy a given thing even if I'm personally not interested in it. I could not understand why people who enjoy Windows Never Released enjoy it and participate within it. Even if I found the OS Mockups wiki, I would not be able to understand the point of it all. This is the question which I have been probing into throughout the video. Why? Why make these PowerPoints with remixed Windows login and logoff sounds? Who watches this content and who makes this content? What type of person? There has been this perpetually impenetrable glass ceiling in regards to trying to understand this community. In my admittedly limited exploration, In the sense that it was short, and in the sense that I was limited by my knowledge of where and who to go to in order to seek out information, I was not able to answer this question, and even reaching out to people in that space did not help. The enjoyment one gets from making hours upon hours of this content perpetually eluded me. On the 22nd of June 2026, I received a comment on the video from someone who actually gave me a satisfactory and even intriguing answer to the inquiries I had fomented throughout the video. Believe me when I say, this person is the key to understanding why I could not understand this community, and the answer is really simple. It wasn't meant for me. Throughout all this time, it somehow didn't cross my mind that perhaps this content was so unusual to me, specifically because it was not created by the neurotypical and was therefore intended for a completely different audience that derives appreciation of this content in their own way. This revelation completely recontextualized my perception of Windows Never Released and explained why I didn't understand what the appeal of it is. I could only get so close until I hit the glass ceiling again. But I wasn't going to stop there. I left a reply under this person's comment and managed to get in touch with them on Discord. Before we continue, I should say that this video would not have been possible without the insight which this person was generous enough to provide me with, along with their time. The username of this person is Chicken Gunner, and they have their own YouTube channel which you can check out. Again, without the prudence of this person, I doubt I would ever make this addendum. The other half of this video will be dedicated to a narrated excerpt of my conversation with Chicken Gunner. In some alternate universe, I could have simply chosen to lurk more after my initial video, read the OS mockups wiki and simply retell the information that I read, but for whom, then, would this video be? The video would be both inaccessible and uninteresting to the people outside the community, for what interest could there be in the squabbles of this strange group they never heard of? In a similar way, what interest would there be to those who have been in this community for a long time? What new information would they learn that they don't already know or can't access themselves? Funnily enough, then, I think that I presented just the right amount of information with just the right credentials, or lack thereof, so as to not turn away either group. Hey, listen, whoever I showed this video to, they liked it, so despite the comments coming from people who are already in the know, I consider this part to be a win. I intend to achieve the same effects with this video. Thus, I believe that the following conversation would have been interesting to not just me, but also to those outside the community to learn more about the why of it all, in addition to the people who are involved in this community to perhaps see one of their own articulate what exactly it is that drew them to content such as this. Our conversation was split into two topics of discussion, one about Windows Never Released and the other one about logo editing. Even though this is supposed to be a video on Windows Never Released, I believe that it would be insightful to first hear Chicken Gunner's thoughts about logo editing, as that explains a decent portion of the psychology behind the consumption of not just logo editing, but also Windows Never Released. I want to make it clear that Chicken Gunner's elucidations are just his own, and I am not claiming that people of both communities are a monolith who all think the same. Rather, Chicken Gunner's opinions and way of thinking are a sagacious perspective into just a couple of reasons why a person might get invested in these communities, and perhaps reflects a common sentiment among some within them. Oh, and if you don't know what logo editing is, it's essentially taking an intro or an outro of some company's logo animation, be it McDonald's, Nickelodeon, or the most edited one, and applying various audiovisual effects onto them, remixing an existing intro or outro of a thing. I wonder how I heard that one before. I suppose the main difference between Windows Never Released and logo editing is that the former creates completely new intros and outros based on existing designs, whilst the latter simply remixes existing ones. In that case, wouldn't that mean that logo edits are in of themselves new logos like Windows Never Released operating systems are by virtue of so heavily remixing the original source material? Whatever, that's a tangential question. Do you understand why I'm including logo editing in this video now? Enough with the monologuing, roll the interview. What got you into the logo editing community?
It was mostly videos I watched as a kid around 9 or 10. I discovered it mostly because I liked logos, because of my Asperger's, and I found it interesting and slightly addictive in some way, doing effects and that stuff on the logos. Around the early 2020s is when I created my YouTube channel. It was called something like The Leafy BFBF and of Trollolino 1221. I deleted it a year later due to stress, complications with my PC, and other things. It was about logo editing, of course, and I actually used to mash up sources from Latin American children's TV shows. I find it very cringe till this very day, lol, and is somewhat related with the fake OS thingy due to the boot up screens essentially showing the logos of the OSs. I actually consumed a lot of Windows Expert's channel and content, and would always draw a timeline with the logos of the Windows systems from 1 to 11, including betas. So yeah, that was pretty much my response for that question. Sometimes it's so weird, people even call it slop, but I guess it's still better than AI. After all, it's a community who creates their own OSs and logo effects in the case of both WNR and logo editing, respectively.
Despite how obtuse the content seems to me, I am hesitant to call it slop because I'm sure there are aspects of both that people get some sort of artistic appreciation from. In a similar way, I hope you won't find the following text offensive where I am coming to this as a pure outsider. I don't understand the point of these videos as much as I vaguely understand the point of Windows Never Released videos, and as it seems to me it's even less coherent or comprehensible than Windows Never Released. I've watched a couple dozen logo editing videos and a video on the community by Daniel Gaming, and I never thought about the potential metaphysics of the concept of logo editing, but even then, the way these logos are edited in is still perplexing.
I would say from experience that I do it to satisfy some necessity or sometimes like a hobby. What I mean is that I sometimes feel good creating or watching those colors and saturated audio that I can understand with the people around the community.
Even though some videos I saw got tens of thousands of views, something tells me most of those views are either returning viewers or confused people finding them in their recommendations. I have a feeling logo editing is not that big at all, as it seems to me this is a pretty small and clannish group. Which would make sense that in participating in this community, you, like you said, actually feel like you're part of a community. So, in other words, how big is this community really, do you think?
Kinda big, but obscure. It gained certain infamy by the denominated logo kids, which are mostly kids which have immature tendencies, like grounding other people, like in a Go Animate video, and making childish harassment videos, and poorly made effects, like combining basic effects, which is considered unoriginal. They are the most probable reasons why these videos get thousands of views. It was just 10-year-old kids who clicked on a weird thumbnail to see the Cocomelon intro and a Gummy Bear song with several funny filters.
How long did you stay in the logo editing community?
I'm actually kinda still in the community. I have a new channel for logo editing, and I sometimes mess around on Sony Vegas, so in theory, it would have been since 2018 to 2020. That's when I discovered all that stuff.
Has the community changed over the years, and if so, for better or for worse?
I would say that depends on the point of view of who you're asking that. Some people are more positive and others are negative. I mean this because there are lots of different people and stuff that comes out, like the newer Classy Cuspo Supo?
Snarky Snappy.
Like the newer Klasky Supo instructions channels that use historically accurate effects, or people improving how they use Go Animate.
Instructions channels? Historically accurate effects? Also, how is Go Animate related?
Yeah, the instruction channels tell you the precise recipe and mix that you need for making specific effects. Like example, G major 4 uses color curves and 2 layers of different pitches, 0 and +5. Sometimes an effect could be reduced or simplified to the point of becoming the most common version of the effect. It's like flanderization, but for Klasky Cuspo effects. Example, G major 4, originally created by Geckel 2000, used the color curves. A Jamie Schaffer's version uses a gradient map and is most commonly used. Go Animate grounding videos and Klasky Cuspo effects are usually having the hands. Did he mean like hand in hand? I don't. It's like a universe connected in some way. There are Go Animate videos which have G major effects applied, or sometimes logos appear in these grounding videos.
What's a grounding video?
It refers to low quality animations mostly made with Go Animate, where a character gets grounded for 29197492293729229 years after doing some weird stuff. God, I did that all in one take. Good for me. These animators somehow have an obsession with seeing Caillou specifically get grounded, but there's also Dora the Explorer and some other ones.
Is there a lot of crossover between the logo editing community and Windows Never Released?
First of all, the comments on logo editing and WNR videos are normally not correctly assorted, as they're mostly kids commenting on gibberish or obvious things on them. Second, there are videos of Windows startup and shutdown sounds with logo editing effects, and that's pretty much the only matches I know between those two things, I guess.
So would you say most people in the logo editing community don't really care about Windows Never Released and a minority are in both communities?
It all depends on what the person likes. One can like only logo editing, or only WNR, or even both, or even none.
Are your friends also into logo editing? Do you know anybody in real life who's into it?
When I had the Leafy BFB and Trollolino 1221 channel, I actually befriended a popular logo editor at the time, Tidor Pretak. He even is on the logo editing wiki from what I've seen, and he's used effects/sources I made.
Are you still friends with him?
I once tried to communicate to him to ask for lost media about his old terminated channel, but he didn't respond. He only hearted my comment and nothing else. This is actually common between these types of kids on the internet, to just heart/like YouTube comments unless it's really stupid or provocative.
Would you consider yourself popular in the logo editing community?
I mean, I have 2K subs on my actual logo editing channel, so I would say yeah, but not that popular, unlike Klasky Cuspo and Instructions Team, for example.
Are they the biggest logo editing channel?
Not that big, but they are good figures.
Now, time for the Windows Never Released questions. How accurate was my video?
Yeah, it's accurate. You should have put more details about the channels who mainly do the content. For example, Windows Expert uses lambs on his videos, which look very cursed, not gonna lie. And he also has the infamy on spreading misinfo about the startups and shutdowns of OSs.
Were you into Windows Never Released as much as logo editing? Are you still into it?
Yeah, kinda. I liked the Windows startups and shutdown stuff too. But then I stumbled upon Windows Experts videos about never released Windows, and then it turned into a saga where people suggested their own Windows.
Did you ever have a Windows Never Released channel?
Nope, only logo editing.
Did you get interested in Windows Never Released before or after logo editing?
That's a hard question. My memory is kind of blurry in that aspect, but I'd say I was onto Windows before LE.
Did you get to know anybody from that community?
On the Windows aspect, I found, of course, Windows Expert videos. While on LE, I found a guy who was a fan of two Cartoon Network series, Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart and Unikitty.
I mentioned in my video the Windows Never Released subreddit and Wiki Discord. Are those the main places where Windows Never Released people congregate? I guess same questions go for logo editing.
Yeah, probably. There's also DeviantArt, where logo kids do custom 20th Century Fox logos being destroyed. It is also home for the WNR community.
Is the Windows Never Released community bigger or smaller than logo editing?
Logo editing is by far way more bigger.
Is there a reason why most Windows Never Released videos use the same Windows 2000s login/logoff sounds? I noticed that being a pattern among many of them. Do people make any custom sounds?
Yeah, sometimes/rare times, there are custom Windows sounds, but they're basically a fusion of several other random Windows sounds. Oh god, that was a lot of talking.
So what's the point of this video? I may have a clue. There's meaning to be found in things that seem weird on the surface, and
Stop negging. Don't neg. No one likes a negger.